friends. Today's question that I have for you is, are you a finisher? And so I'm hoping that today we can go through a couple of exercises that can help you to become a finisher. And I'll start by giving an example of something that happened in my own life. It was about probably 12 years ago. My husband and I and our family had moved several times, and I kept bringing along this cross stitch that I had started during my first pregnancy, which I had lost that baby. And I just kept moving it from house to house in a different closet in each house, thinking, okay, well, I'll finish this. I became pregnant again 2 years later. I'll finish it for this child, and I didn't, and ended up having 2 more children after that. So 4 kids later, I still hadn't finished this cross stitch. And one day it was just, I think I was cleaning out the closet again, and there I saw the package with this half-finished cross stitch. And not only had I suffered a setback with a miscarriage, but I had also suffered a setback in a mistake in the cross stitch, that I would have to undo a bunch of stitches to begin. And that kind of became this roadblock of not being able to accomplish this particular goal. And I'm really good at finishing a lot of things. Like, from a very young age, I felt this need to finish things. It was more important to finish something than for it to be perfect. And that has served me very well. Although my perfectionist side struggles against that sometimes, but I remind myself that I'm a finisher. And so I'm staring at this cross stitch again, and I'm thinking, I'm just gonna throw this away. And then the thought came to me, no, you're a finisher. You need to finish this. And so I did. I took it out. I took out those stitches that were incorrect, and I finished that darn cross stitch. And this cross stitch was started in the early to mid 90s. And so it was 12 years later and not something I was going to hang on my wall. And because it already looked like it was from the 80s when I started doing it. I held on to the 80s a little longer than I probably should have. And so then what did I do with it? I finished it. I felt amazing. It was like a monkey on my back, which is crazy. This little cross stitch sitting in this closet, moving from house to house, was like dragging me down. So I finished it, and then I promptly threw it in the garbage because it was that important to finish it. And then last year, I had decided that I'm in a group where we have conference calls once a week. We help each other with our action steps and setting and keeping goals and giving each other good advice. And we talk about this, being a finisher, and making a declaration out of being a finisher, and how much that's helped so many people in my group that I'm in, this notion of being a finisher. And so I decided to share it with you. And that led me to think, well, I only attended 1 year of junior college and decided that college wasn't for me back in the 90s when I graduated from high school. And I graduated in 1991. And I decided that I'm a finisher. I'm going to finish school. It's something that's important to me. It's something that I regret all the time. And so I'm going to do that. And so I enrolled in the Pathways Worldwide program, and then I'll be transferring to BYU Idaho at the end of the school year. And so my invitation to you is, what things are sitting around that you have unfinished? Those unfinished things chip away at our integrity, not only with other people, but with ourselves. So when we go to set new goals, our brain says, but you are not trustworthy. You are not going to finish that goal. And then we just go into self-sabotage. And so my invitation to you is to start thinking about what things have I said I was going to do and A, either didn't start, or B, got partway through and then gave up on. And then start working on finishing those things. If that feels too overwhelming, think of one thing. One thing, don't write down the rest. Just go, oh, I started this project and it's been sitting in my garage for 15 years and I'm gonna finish it. And then what you do with it afterwards is entirely up to you. Give it away, give it to Goodwill, burn it, throw it away, whatever you need to do to finish it. And then I would invite you to write down what feelings you feel after finishing that. And then just slowly keep adding on things that you're finishing so that in the future, when you say you're going to do something, you know that you will actually do it. Become a finisher. See what happens in your life when you make the decision to finish things, to finish the unfinished in your life, and to finish things moving forward. And so if you have an experience where you have finished something and you want to tell somebody about it, I would love to hear about that experience. So let me know and I will celebrate with you that you are a finisher. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.